Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our first 2024 Resident Council open meeting. Glad to see all of you here. Several of you have asked me where the agenda is. I was a publisher. I got accused all the time for killing trees with abandon. So now, oh, so if you'd rather have paper agendas, I'm more than happy to spend your money and have them printed, however you want to do it. But very quickly, just going over the agenda, that we're going to meet some new residents who are here. I'll list some others who are not here, but whose names you ought to hear and as they come into the community. We're going to obviously meet the new resident council members, also committee chairs for the year. And Susan Rourke is going to provide you with an overview of her 2023 plan of accomplishments, right? And a girl. And then we'll have 4 committee updates. And I've had some questions from folks about this, about why aren't we having the other 9, 14, however many standing committees we have doing reports. And what we're trying to do is rotate these through on a quarterly basis, not have every committee report every month. Now, we provided the committee chairs with the option of letting us know if there's something that has happened in the past month that would be of importance to the community. And of course, we would make sure that you would have an opportunity to hear that information. The reason I picked the 4 that you see on the agenda today are simply because all 4 of those committees have new chairs this year. And I wanted you to have an opportunity to see them. So you don't call me when they do something that you're not crazy about. No, and that they have an opportunity to get some visibility because they're all off to a raging start. It's absolutely wonderful. So that's good. And then we've got 2 management representatives. You'll recall that Yannick said that during months where he had a town hall, that he would not be attending these meetings. So we have 1 month per quarter. Well, he won't be here. But he wanted to set up a couple of the folks from the cabinet for you to have an opportunity to hear from them. So we'll hear from Amanda and from Greg in a little bit, and they'll be available for Q&A in addition to the orientation or overview they're going to provide, if that's okay. And we've chained them to the chairs so they're not getting out till we're done. The 2024 Resident Council, that's the list of folks. Probably most of these people I think are known to you. What did I do, Jane? What did I do? You're laughing. Did I screw up? A typo? You were demoted. Did you not know? I eliminated Jane Weinberg from the resident council. She actually should be there, and that's my bad, so forgive me. So what happens when you do things the night before after your granddaughter's wedding, and we're not smart. So forgive me, Jane, you'll be giving the 40-minute report next time. I also wanted to acknowledge and welcome today Carol Ward. Where are you, Carol? Right back here. Carol is the president of the council, resident council at the Care Center, and we're delighted to have you here. Thank you. We're going to have, at her convenience and interest, Carol will be welcomed at any of the closed meetings that resident council has. She's invited Dave Lemire very courteously, who is the liaison for that committee, to attend her meetings at the Care Center when it's available and everything's working schedule wise. So that's very kind as well. And we appreciate that. Thank you. So let's get on with it. And our first order of business is to let you know the committee chairs. And if I left any committee chairs off, Jane, will you please let me know? But here are the committee chairs. Again, you can read them for yourselves. I'd make note of both the committee chair and the resident council liaison who works with that chair. And this will all be posted on the website. So you'll be able to look it up and say, who do I need to talk to about that B&G issue? There you go. B&G probably isn't the best example because Building and Grounds has such a strong array of folks spread throughout the community whose responsibility it is to work within that community to identify resident concerns. So share that with them and that'll work well. Did I leave anybody off? Okay, good. I'm pleased to hear that. All right, are you ready, ma'am? Ms. Rourke is going to talk about what happened last year. Susan?
Well, as you guys know, I'm used to being mic'd up. So anybody in the, Carolyn, can you hear me? Okay, great. Well, first of all, I want to thank everybody on the 2023 council, except that they're all on the 2024 council anyway. So I know that you've got a great experienced group coming online. And at the beginning of every year, every council puts together a set of goals and objectives, which we did, and we circulated those early on. And now we're ready to take a look and see whether we got any of the things accomplished that we hoped. I think I must say that most of us were a little bit surprised at how the year worked out. Number one, on March 16th, we found out that we had corporate, we're not allowed to say hacking, but we lost a lot of data that was flowing to us from corporate. So we had to overcome that as an obstacle. And then the thing that we can't thank all of you enough for weathering with us, the 5 months that we've done without a dining room. However, we do have Greg here today. Thank you, Greg, for getting us through that. But what I don't know if you guys are all into this, but I'm pretty much into statistics. And I thought I would just give you a little statistics about what went on with resident council this year. First of all, we have formal meetings. And as you know, we have 7 members plus one. We had 22 resident council meetings. We had 10 open meetings for the entire community. We had 160 committee meetings. We had 3 festivals that we participated in, and we had 1 month-long fundraiser. Our goals and objectives were basically only 3 things: finance, engagement, and relationships. So as far as finance goes, we can thank our estimable finance committee who worked for a good deal of time without all the information that we normally get from corporate, but we were able to get through that. And we were still able, as a resident council, to contribute to the budget and to the capital budget every year that we were able to do. We have also tried to do a great deal of communication, not only in the open meetings, but this year we established with the CIC committee a resident council person-to-person email system. We have about 251 households enrolled in that. And so that covers just over 300 people that we can talk to directly from the resident council. We post everything online now, as you guys know. So we have all the new goals and objectives, everything will be up there shortly. We also put out the meeting minutes of every committee, and that is 96 meeting minutes that we have posted. We have 10 resident council meeting minutes and videos in case you want to see movie stars. We also have spent some time in introducing new residents to the community. In 2022, we had 41 new residents join us. In 2023, we had 40 people join us. And so far in 2024, we have 10 new residents. So altogether, we have integrated into the community 91 new people. I see 2 of them sitting right in front of me. So what we want to do and what we hope we have been able to do with things like mentor programs, activity programs, and communication with people is to integrate the new people, and we are not sure that we're doing the best job we can. So we're always working on improving. We have also, in order to keep resident council going, resident council is the overriding body for the committees, of which there are currently 10, but we're looking at that. And one of the things that we must do as resident council overseers is to select committee chairpersons. And I can tell you we've had 10 of the best this year. And we have recruited 142 members of the community who volunteer their time. It's just amazing to me. So that's 1/3 of all the people who live here want to engage with everybody else and contribute to the community. Finally, we have so many new programs. If you go online today and look at the calendar for the month to come, you will find there are over 200 activities, programs, activities, exercise classes, outreach programs, so over 200. And this has been an ongoing thing for the past probably 5-6 months. Our hospitality and program committees have done wonders. We have bocce ball now. We have all kinds of things and resident things that we've encouraged people within the community to bring forward. And finally, one of the most important things that we do here, as all of you are aware, we are a non-tipping facility. So that means that all of the hourly people who work here and are so good to us and will do anything for us do not get any extra money beyond their salary. However, the Employee Appreciation Fund is a program that we run 1 month a year. We ask all of the people in the community to contribute. And this year, our program was the most successful it's ever been. We collected in 30 days $360,000, which every penny of which went directly to our employees. The average check that we gave out this year was about $1,750. And finally, I want to compliment everyone, and everyone who lives here suffered together. And the way we alleviated our suffering was one of the things that we asked our management to do was to communicate during the remodel what was going on. We thought we might hear a thing or two. I cannot tell you how wonderful Yannick was. He presented us every single week with not only a written description of each of the things that were going on, but also pictures. And I can't believe that there's anybody in this room who doesn't just love our new dining room. So all in all, Resident Council does the best we can to represent you. We are the voice of you. And we want you to tell us what it is you want us to do. So hopefully by developing questions, by working with our new people, by hearing what our committees have accomplished with the aid of our incredible staff, I mean, really, the staff supports us so well here too, that we can move forward and continue to do a good job for all of you. Thanks.
Thank you, Susan. The good news is that while her term as chair is over, Susan stays on council in a non-voting capacity as our advisor and conscience. So we're delighted to, I'm not calling you a gray beard. That has been traditional. That's new. Also want to make sure now that we're into this a little bit, and we've got folks that are watching on 1960, and you can watch the recording of this if you really are into pain later at your convenience on YouTube. But I did want to have all of the new, not new, the resident council members who are present to please stand so you can put faces with names. So all you guys who are on council now, please stand. And ladies. Very good. Thank you. Let's show some appreciation. And also, all the committee chairs who are here today, if you could please stand, I'd be grateful. It really wouldn't work without the committees. These folks do a great job, and they are obviously your friends and neighbors, and take advantage of the opportunity to either ask them questions or get involved. And later in the year, we'll have an opportunity for you to get more directly engaged with some of the committees if you have an interest. So that would be good. I also wanted to wait to introduce the new members. I know I've messed with the agenda a little bit again to make sure that people who are on 1960, as to my knowledge, and I may have messed this up, so I'm going to read them anyway. I only see two of the folks that I know are new here today. So I want to make sure that we acknowledge them, and then I'll give you the names of the other ones. And if they're here, I'd ask them to please stand. If they're not, I understand completely. They're kind of busy getting moved in. So from the front, and Susan set me up, it was great. Wayne and Patricia Powell, you guys stand up. They are neighbors of ours. They're in 520. They have a house in the Arcadia area and moved back and forth getting settled in here, which can be, as you all know, our challenge. And your house is on the market now, I understand. Is that right? Good. Hope that moves very, very quickly. And I'm also told that you'd be open to dinner invitations. So obviously they're hungry, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, the party group? Wow, that's impressive. The party table, huh? No. Oh, the 500s. Oh, well, that's Laura Enson's responsibility. I have no. Oh. Also want to acknowledge Nick and Mary Police, who are in 415. They're right over here. Have been in the Valley since 2006. Is that right? To get that right? And came down from Colorado. And Nick was a ski instructor. So if you're interested in fine-tuning your shushing, he would be the guy to see. In addition to these folks, and again, I'm going to read the names, and if the folks are here, I hope they'll stand. Michael and Laura Helminski in 342. Okay, we'll get a chance to meet with them later. Lon and Sandra Norris, 425. Okay, we'll look for them later. John and Shirley Weiss, another member of the party group in the 500s, 524. Eddie Smith, 511. But 500s are turning over, Laura. I don't know. Eddie, we've had the opportunity to have dinner with and spend a little time with over in our group, as well as you guys. So that's been a lot of fun. So finally, Robert Wolf is in unit 125. Look for these folks. Their pictures are in the directory. Please go ahead and, if you wish, reach out to them and see if they're interested. And if they're not, that's perfectly okay. We're good with that. Okay, so I want to move to our goals for the year from a resident council standpoint. And so, if it works, yay. These are abbreviated. This isn't every word that's in the document. Every word that's in the document too is available to you online. So I'll fill in a little bit of this. But the idea is that we would like to encourage an environment of collaboration and collegiality with management, with the committees, with other RC members, and obviously with residents. Doesn't mean pushover. It means advocacy is what we do, and we hope to be able to accomplish some things that with a positive attitude, and hopefully you'll see the results of that as the year goes on. Want to look for opportunities to enhance communication with you all. You heard Susan make reference to the email system. We are in the process of fully implementing the resident council email system. So when you see stuff from me, it's actually people on CIC who are putting it out, thank God, because there's no way I would be able to do it. So we're really, really grateful to that committee and the work they did to get us to a point where we can communicate more directly. We're going to publish a schedule of when the cabinet members will be in these open meetings, so you can pick and choose. If you wish to come down, great. Love to have you at every one of these. If it's easier for you to do it from your home, that's fine too. But we will let you know who will be here next month with a resident council email. And if you haven't signed up for the resident council email, I would strongly encourage you to do that. We have over 250 people, or shouldn't say people, addresses, households. And in some cases, that number is never going to equate to the total population here, because in some instances, couples have the same email address, and that's perfectly fine. But if you haven't, I'd encourage you to, because you're going to be hearing more from us. We're going to be judicious in how many messages you are hammered with, but it won't be for anything other than what we hope you will find important and meaningful. Plus, you've always got the famous delete button, if you would prefer. We are going to continue with website evaluation and improvements as the opportunity provides. And we're going to align, as you heard earlier, when I mentioned Carol, we're going to align with the Care Center residents to promote engagement with the entire V community. We're all one place. We may be in different buildings. We've got this place, we've got Casitas, and we've got the Care Center. It's important that we all stay together as one population. Ensure committee chairs feel heard, empowered, and appreciated is number 3. Here, what we're talking about really is inviting committee chairs on a rotating basis to come to a closed council meeting and be able to interact directly with council should they choose. Not mandatory, not a forced march, but it's an option that will be made available to them. We want to, and Susan made reference to this is not a brand new objective by any stretch, but maintain focus on advocacy on behalf of all residents for all significant areas of life at V, underscoring financial, which Susan referenced, continue to enhance resident council and resident understanding of the financial performance of the community and the documents used to routinely report it, and advocate for the lowest possible annual monthly fee increase. As you all know, that ain't our call, but we can certainly have some influence, hopefully, and also have some input in that entire process. Moving on, we want to talk a little bit about, facilities, and track and advise on capital equipment and project recommendations. Again, this is through committees. This is not individual resident council members doing this. This is empowering the committees and hopefully supporting and extending their work when they need that support and extension. We want to make sure that we continue to have hundreds of activities that are available to you as residents. And in some cases, when we don't have all of the ones that you'd like to see, look for ways to implement them. And you've seen examples of that in 2023, where additional activities in the form of games or programs were added to give residents more variety. And I think it's been a pretty successful thing. Follow up on safety issues related to residents and make sure that everything we're doing possible is in place to do that, because after all, that's probably job one for all of us, to make sure the facilities are safe and available. And finally, dining, focus on food quality, variety, and service excellence. I'm pretty certain that Greg may mention that we have a new employee in the dining area as of today, and I happen to run into him and give him directions to the men's room. So he's here. I saw him. He's ready to rumble. We want to maintain relevant contact with other V community resident leadership groups. David Lemire deserves a lot of credit for this. He established the contact profile that we have for all of the same kinds of officers at all the communities. Not all of them are aligned exactly the way we are, but the leadership certainly is, and the finance committee chairs are. So David put together the database, and we've tried to keep it updated as time has gone on. And that'll be one of the things that Kevin, oh, I know. Oh, it was Ron? Oh, Ron did it. So David deserves no credit at all. No, David deserves a lot of, but Ron Sonnenberg obviously was heavily involved in this a couple of years ago and was involved deeply in it. So Ron, thanks very much. David, thank you for your efforts. Hopefully we can keep that going. And finally, pursue bylaw changes and updates and submit any recommendations on same to you, because no bylaw changes can be implemented without the support and actual vote of our residents here. So Susan foreshadowed a couple of the things. You'll hear about that. We don't vote until later in the year. So the resident council will be receiving a draft. And I want to give Jane Weinberg a lot of props. That's why I left her off this in case she needed to be impeached on her work. But so Jane's already worked really hard on it, and you'll be hearing more about it. We'll keep you informed on that. Any questions on that at the moment? Any of that stuff? Everybody understand it? Okay, just so you are aware, council has formally adopted these as our goals and objectives. So here we go. Now, the part that all of you have been waiting for. We get to hear from the cabinet. And I don't know if you all have met yet Amanda Chandler, who's our director of nursing over in the care center, right? And Amanda will go first, and we'll give you a little bit of a brief overview. Then we'll transmit over here to Mr. Beckley, who will do the same, and then they will be available for Q&A for a while afterwards, if that's your pleasure. So, Amanda.
All right.
Welcome. What did I do? I did introduce the committee chairs. Oh, shoot. See, here's the deal, guys. If you have cataract surgery and they tell you you need readers, you got to use them. And I can see all of you clear as a bell. I can't see crap in front of me on this piece of paper. Oh, yeah, I forgot about those committee chairs. You guys, as you were.
Okay.
All right, so I'm not going to screw up the order either. We're doing this because, at least as far as I know, Susan did this and David did this. So that's the way we're going to keep doing it alphabetically, ladies and gentlemen, for the committees that are here, starting with building and grounds. Not building and grounds? David, 4 reports. 4 reports, not 9. 4 reports. Any praise I've given you, I take back. Oh, no, thanks. Okay, building and grounds is up. And you saw Cameron Sharp is our chair.
Thank you, Win. I want to thank especially Ed Vickers and Tom Ensign for the help they've given me getting started this year, and it would be a disaster without their help. So thanks so much. And also, I have an idea what we're talking about because of the great work that Mary Lemire has done as our secretary, and I really want to thank her. Basically, at the February 19th meeting, the Buildings and Grounds, we had 16 members and 8 guests who were present. Engineering, housekeeping, and landscape reported their current activities. Were reported 209 total golf rounds were reported. From landscaping, we had the landscape contractor, Louis Brasida, advised that our 23-year-old flexible plastic feeder lines are being replaced when patching is no longer practical. The quieter electrical blowers are used on the golf course, but battery life does limit their use. Resident services, we found that Rose Hollins has been promoted to the new resident services supervisor. and she leads the concierge and the valet teams. The new chair has been installed in the beauty salon, and that is reported to work pretty well. Housekeeping reported that the casseted driveway stain removal and the patio furniture updates plans are in progress. The carpet stains from dogs continue to require multiple cleanings each week. And this is an interesting challenge. The guest suite updates are being gradually implemented a little bit at a time. Engineering reported that residents should immediately report any possible sewer gas or other unusual smells to allow the test instruments to quickly locate the source. Reporting it a week later doesn't help at all. The team meeting, we had Pat Reininger has led a project to install resident council section, or I'm sorry, the building and grounds section on the Touchdown app. And this will be the new Touchdown logo. It will be right next to the engineering logo. And on that app, in the next few days, as soon as Pat gets back from her cruise, we'll have a list of each of the locations around the facility and who you should contact on the Building and Ground Committee, what their email address is, so you can contact them if you observe problems. Management did advise recently that they will not be incorporating solar panels in the new roof that's being installed. Howard London is working to reinstate the mobility device recycling program as soon as we find some place to put them. Our residents are advised that there are hearing enhancement devices available for use here in the Ocotillo room. And they are back in the closet, and just ask for them if you need them. And the next Building and Grounds team meeting will be on Monday, March 18th at 11 a.m. here in the Ocotillo room. And I want to thank each of you for the opportunity to serve. Cameron Sharp.
Cam. Thank you, Cam. Obviously, we're off to a big start with Building and Grounds already, and you're going to hear similar things from the other committee chairs who are presenting today as well, led by our new Care Center Committee Chair, Barb Eckelmeyer.
Good afternoon. You can read our minutes on the website, but I'd like to go over our 2024 goals with you for the Care Center Committee. First, we want to support Care Center management and staff as they maintain and improve our excellent Care Center facility. Every organization, every facility will be able to find ways to improve, and they should. And every organization and facility will occasionally have a hiccup. That's true. But we really do have an excellent Care Center facility, and we can be very proud of it and glad for it. Secondly, we want to encourage interactions that result in residents still feeling like part of the community when they move to the Care Center. You know, there's one roof over this building with two sides. It's one house with two sides. It's one community, and we want to make sure people feel like they're still part of that community, no matter which side of the house they're living on. We want to facilitate meaningful volunteer opportunities that enrich the lives of those who serve and those who are being served. Volunteering can and should be a win-win situation. That's what we're aiming for. We want to be a resource and a voice to independent living residents in a way that helps them develop a positive, accurate impression of the Care Center and its benefits. And we want to be an advocate for Care Center residents, addressing both concerns and suggestions to the appropriate people. There is a way for those concerns and those suggestions to be heard and dealt with effectively. There are some programs in place that help us accomplish our goals, that lead towards implementing those goals. First of all, there is the Transition Assistance Program, referred to as TAP. That is a 6-member team that rotates on a weekly basis. So a team member is on duty for a week. And if there are any V residents who are admitted to the care center, the on-duty person visits and follows up for a period of 6 weeks. This is to smooth the transition in any way we can, and also to maintain that connectivity. When someone is in the care center for more than 6 weeks, then they become part of the Caring Neighbors program. We have 9 independent living residents who use the Friends of the Care Center communication to visit their care center friends and neighbors on a regular basis. This is an organic approach that we hope will bring satisfaction to both the volunteers and the residents who are being visited. We also have care center activities support working under Autumn Davis, who is the care center's lifestyle manager. We have volunteers for bingo, music, exercise, art, Bible study, coffee clutch, and making of door decor for the memory support unit. So there's lots going on in the care center. The annual volunteer orientation will be conducted by Autumn on Thursday, this coming Thursday, the 29th, in this room at 2:30 p.m. Respectfully submitted, Barbara Eckelmeyer.
Thank you, Barb. Next is Dining and Culinary, led by Liesl Nolan.
Good afternoon. Our dining committee had a great first meeting. The minutes, or notes as they're now called, as well as our mission and goals, can be found on the resident website, resident council website. A new concept this year is that the dining venues are broken down into 4 sections with 2 committee members, or food critics as we call them, reporting on each. If the members are here, please stand. Laura Ensign and Jennifer Smith are in charge of Prickly Pear. Sandy Robbins and Marty Brown, the Alpenglow. Ann Oswald and Mike Davern, the Bar. And the best for last is John De Niro, Desserts. I encourage each of you to reach out to any of these members with concerns, kudos, ideas. And you can always contact me and are most welcome to attend any of our meetings. I think most of you can agree our meals have improved immensely in the past 2 months. A lot of the menu items that we have asked for so long are now on the menu. Like you, we are excited to meet and work with our new chef, Ray Anderson. P.S. Edie and I got to meet him today. We are dedicated to working with him to be sure we have delicious, healthy, well-prepared meals. Chef Shuby and Chef Marco have done an outstanding job, and we thank them. Between Greg and his staff and the kitchen, we have enjoyed 2 mix and mingles and a beautiful Valentine celebration in February. Coming up, we have a mix and mingle for our St. Patrick's Day, a whiskey beer tasting, and the spring fling. And the much anticipated friendship table is back with a Monday and Friday seating. Reservations are a must and can be made 2 weeks in advance. Greg would like to remind residents to fill out a comment card if you have a concern or a complaint. Be specific and think of the whole community. You may not like soft green beans, but there may be 100 of your other residents that love them. Greg would also like to hear from you sooner than later. Shuby and Marco want to know while you are in the dining room if there is a problem, and they will try and fix it before you leave. They are dedicated to making things right. The comment cards are so important, and thanks to Yannick, the dining committee will be able to see these cards quarterly. The Care Center will have these cards available to them too. These will help us to move forward. Also, if you take home leftovers, you will be charged an a la carte price in addition to your meal credit. Our committee's main goal this year is to promote positivity and to be respectful. We all criticize at one time or another, but we urge you, when speaking with dining or kitchen management, servers, or at our committee meeting, to be kind. As Laura Ensign reminded us, let us remember to practice the golden rule. Bon appetit, respectfully submitted, Liesl Nolan.
Thanks, Liesl. Batting cleanup, Bob Smith, Finance.
Hello. As Wynn mentioned, the Finance Committee has. How's that? How's that? Okay. Finance Committee has several missions, two of which that are very important are being advocates for all the residents that are here. And the other is to ensure a broad knowledge base of the financial situation of all who are here. Last Thursday, while some of you were enjoying a nice wine tasting, your Finance Committee had a 1 hour and 45-minute meeting with the resident executive director and a director of accounting. And in the short time that I've got here to talk, I can't cover it all. There were two major issues that we do need to address, and maybe we'll do that with a little interactive overview. And it's not all good news. So start off, can we have a show of hands? And I just had a good lead into it for how many people are enjoying a new dining venue. It's good, good. It's good because it's costing you about $2.5 million to have it. And that's not a joke, that's for real. We were advised that the ownership has decided that they will not participate in the cost reimbursement or any funding of that, that is totally a resident responsibility. So what that means is that total $2.5 million, it's actually 2.36 million, including $180,000 for 2 restroom renovations, will be our responsibility. That was one of the major areas of discussion, but it also led us into the other. Well, but before I go on, we did discuss this for quite a bit of time, and eventually both sides had conflicting ideas of who was responsible, and each of us had policy statements that we thought were right. And Yannick did agree to go back and readdress it with the corporate people and see, but he was not very positive about it. That leads us into the other part of it, which is the second question on the table of how many people here consider themselves really conversant and knowledgeable of the term CIRR. Thought so. That is capital item replacement reserve. In Texas language, that means reserve, capital reserve, money to build up to take care of capital replacement items as they occur. And the things that will be the residents' responsibility, which now seems to be the dining room remodel. And this is becoming a serious issue. I made a comment to the committee when I first saw it, that it's kind of looking like the national debt. Our discussion was about how we could slow that down, possibly by slowing down some of the developments that are going on. And Yannick's going to look into that, but he's got a schedule he's working on. Reason it's important is that at the beginning of 2023, our deficit was under $2 million. And this is the capital reserve deficit. Uh, At this point, for projects that are completed or scheduled for this year, the deficit is $9.2 million. And that's what we owe back to ownership. It's an interest-free loan from ownership, but we have to pay it back. And currently, the rate of return or the rate of payback is 5.6% of your monthly fees. So 5.6 of the monthly fee you pay every month actually goes to reduce this deficit or to try to control the growth of it. And just to put that in context, you can roughly figure your share of those. The annual payment that we're making is about 1.6 million from those 5.6% payments, which we expect to go to 6% next year. So if you took those two numbers and divide them by the 400 or so people that are here on the property, you can come up with a rough idea of what your share of it's going to be over the time. In doing some quick math, it comes out that the part we have now will take about 5 to 6 years to pay off. And there's ongoing projects, which Yannick says could go on another 2 or 3 or 4 years. Our discussion last week was trying to slow some of that down. He's looking to look at that, and we'll hear more about that at the next meeting and see what type of progress they can make. Our next meeting will not be in March. We have postponed the March meeting. Our next meeting will be April 18th, and appreciate all of you joining. Last week it was kind of light because of the wine tasting. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. Appreciate it. Okay, guys, a little belated. You ready? Okay, go for it.
Hey, deja vu. So those of you who have not met me, I am Amanda Chandler. I'm the Director of Nursing over at the Care Center. That means that I'm basically responsible for the clinical oversight for all of the care venues, assisted living, skilled nursing, and then our new Canvas, which is our memory support. I am overseeing also the staffing, making sure that we are providing that quality care that Barb mentioned over in the Care Center. And also a big part of my job, along with Melanie, is that regulatory compliance factor. We are a Medicare licensed community, the skilled nursing. So we do have to kind of practice in a way that shows we know our mandates, the regulation, and that takes a lot of investment, from all staff members. And I bring that up because we just underwent and still are undergoing our annual survey. The Department of Health comes out once a year. Last time they were in-house was in November of 2022. During that survey, we were deficiency free. And so we expected them back before now, but they did come back just this past week. They came in on Wednesday and they left the building on Friday, still things undone. So I've been watching my watch. We are anticipating them getting back to us today and or tomorrow to do an exit. But I will tell you that overall, the survey went very well. It does reflect the quality of care that we promise. We are in compliance with most regulations, I would say always. We practice that every day, and we train the staff to be that way, to know the regulations, to make improvements, to fix things they see that are undone. So that's really what I have to offer. I've been here for 9 years, just to let you know. It's not new to me, long-term care, so I feel pretty confident in the role, and I look forward to serving all of you in whatever aspects I can.
Not yet.
Not-
Greg's gonna do his and
Okay.
then we'll do-
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, good afternoon. Well, you'll all be happy to know that I just recently renewed my Title IV Liquor Bar Manager certification from the state of Arizona, so we can keep the bar open. Amazingly, I have 4 licenses that I have to hold here, and all 4 of them expired all within the same 2 weeks. So really, I've been spending a lot of time preparing and taking tests and qualification exams for all of those. So, but that comes with the job. they suspended a lot of them during the COVID pandemic, and they finally all started reminding me I needed to renew them all. So that's all done. I know Mrs. Nolan mentioned comment cards and feedback, that's very important to us, especially, in the couple months that we didn't have an executive chef here. Basically, I've been saving all those comment cards. I've been going through them, looking for common trends and comments and whatnot for either front of the house service, food items and whatnot. And just kind of compiling that information so I can start preparing Chef Ray when he gets started. He did start today. You may have seen him around, but in all reality, today I've seen him for about 5 minutes, and that's because first couple of days it's all paperwork with human resources and whatnot. Kind of getting used to your environment. So I would expect probably by the end of the week, early part of next week, we'll try and get him out on the floor and introduce him to everybody. But right now, he's probably busy trying to set up his email. That sort of thing. So I would expect in the next couple of days, probably won't see much of him as he just gets used to the kitchen environment and whatnot back there. There's a lot to learn, especially from my experience. I came here from hotels into a healthcare facility. A lot of the stuff isn't the same thing that I used to do in hotels. A lot of it is. So just got to get acclimated to that. I know there've been a lot of, speaking of comment cards, obviously issues with lighting in both of our venues. We are addressing that. We did get dimmers put into the prickly pear, so that's been resolved. And we are working on some of the lighting issues. There's a couple areas in the Alpenglow that are, well, you feel like you're on stage. So we are working on those as well. I actually had some home office visitors out here the other day going over punch lists from the contractors and stuff like that. And I did walk them through and showed them, kind of our areas of concern on that. So hopefully that will be resolved with our electricians in the next week or two. Outdoor dining, don't forget we have outdoor dining available if you're in the prickly pear. I actually saw somebody go out there on Saturday for the first time, so that was kind of nice. And we have right now, between this month and next month, we have, besides just being open for business, we have 65 different events scheduled between Mix and Mingles, Wine Club. We got 6 block parties, I think, lined up, and Spring Fling. So, we're a very busy department. So bear with us if we're slow to respond to you. I do try, put my own expectations on myself for responding to voicemails and emails, but I'm not here every day. So you may see a delay in me getting back to you. But yeah, all in all, we're excited to have Chef Ray here. So we'll start bringing those food and food concerns to him, and hopefully we'll start seeing some wonderful new menu items here soon. That's it for me.
Open it up. You know the drill. You want to use this mic, Renee, for Q&A?
Hi, I'm Peggy Jordy at 147. I'd like to ask Amanda to schedule a town hall meeting with the care center, specifically with memory care. I have several questions. I don't want to go into any of that now, but I do have questions and I want someone with running the department to answer them.
We do tours. Yeah, thank you.
I'd like to thank Greg for a absolutely spectacular Valentine's Day. I'm sure we all so appreciated that wonderful occasion, and what a spectacular job that whole staff worked so hard to put together and to take down.
Thank you.
Will the bar still be open if you get hit by a bus?
Hey. Is this on? Only I'm required to have the license here. But we have made a decision that, you know, as far as her progression and stuff like that, Marcella should be getting that license as well as certified food protection manager. So she is currently enrolled in those classes, and now she just needs to keep her twins from disturbing her for a couple of days so she can start studying.
Greg, can we get a card? And those of us that mostly eat in our casitas, can we get a card in there for criticism or
Comment
thank
card?
yous or included?
We can drop those in there, you know, because most people, I don't know how many people actually physically come here to place their orders versus how many call and stuff like that. But you can always also email us too. So you're more than welcome to email me as well. I address those things just the same as comment.
Greg, Karen Brown, 217. Would you review the policy that was mentioned today about the fact if you take an a la carte, if you take something out, you're charged for a la carte, and what that includes, please?
Sure, that typically happens in the prickly pear, where someone dines. We find that more of an issue in prickly pear, but if someone dines at the prickly pear, because we do have a la carte pricing on individual items, someone eats their burger and they decide that and they pay for a meal plan with it, then they want dessert. You know, the only desserts that we really allow is like a to-go sort of item, and that was just, you know, a carryover from when we opened up from COVID and had time limits on dining. Is, you know, if someone takes a cookie with them or takes an ice cream bar with them, that's fine. But you know, if someone says, hey, can you box up a Kahlua cake for me? Yeah, so they would just pay the a la carte fee on the Kahlua cake. So whatever the dessert price is. So that makes sense?
Any more questions? Okay. Well, one more question. Last question.
In terms of moving forward with the calendar, will there continue to be town halls, or will we only have cabinet members attending these meetings?
What Yannick told us, this is not a surprise, this was last year, again, in the months where he's doing his town hall, he will not be here, and he will assign a couple of members of his cabinet to be here, or department heads, not always cabinet. There will be, I'm told, there will continue to be subject-specific town halls, area-specific town halls, depending upon the community. I haven't seen a schedule. I'll ask about that. Kevin and I have our one-on-one coming up next week, so we will put that on the agenda. You bet. First of all, thank you all for coming. Appreciate it very much. Thank you all for watching. If you're doing that, thank you very much. Remember, these meetings are posted, so pay attention, and I hope you'll come. Oh, geez. God, holy. It is empty. If you want to put something on it, well, the resident council is not going to use that bulletin board. We've converted that to an electronic bulletin board. If there are other things that are required, we will send them as an email to residents, but it was not updated. It wasn't used very often. There were other things that other committees and residents put up if they were selling their French poodle. I mean, it wasn't being utilized appropriately, so we just stopped doing it. Whatever you want to do, it's not ours anymore. Now that there may be other committees or staff that have something to say about that, but it will not be a resident council communication piece. Anything else? Going. Okay, thank you all for coming. Enjoy your afternoon.